Why did the Atlanta Hawks let Saddiq Bey go? Now, there's several reasons, and I am not ecstatic about it, but it does make sense. And I will say this about the Atlanta Hawks organization. The moves that they've been making over the last 1, 2, 3, 4 months, these are moves that a lot of fans aren't really happy for, ecstatic for, but they do make sense. And I think this is the direction that the team is going in. We're going to make moves. It may not be the most popular move, but it's the move that people see that could help the organization in the future, and we kind of understand where they're going for. Now, unfortunately, Saddiq Bey was one of those moves where it made sense. And there's a couple reasons. Number one, the contract. The Washington, the Wizards? They gave 3-year, $20 million to acquire Saddiq Bey from the Atlanta Hawks. And this is post-ACL tear. Now, some people may say that's a good value. Some people may say that's a bad value. Regardless of wherever you're at with that, that wasn't the Hawks' value. And the Hawks were not going to give 3-year, $20 million for Saddiq Bey, especially coming off a torn ACL. And the kicker is, especially as they continue to bring in talented wings who could fit the scheme, style, and play ability of Trae Young. So number one, first reason why they were going to bring in Saddiq Bey contractually. I heard a lot of people saying the Atlanta Hawks were talking to Saddiq. And honestly, they were just waiting to see what his value was. They were waiting to see if there was a lot of demand for him. And to be completely honest, I think Washington and maybe Detroit were the only two teams that were really interested in him. And I think if Washington decided not to offer him, I think the Atlanta Hawks would have re-signed him for a cheaper deal. I probably anticipate them signing him for like that 3-year, $12 to $15 million deal because his value is really not there. Now, Washington wanted to pay a little bit more, and shout out to Washington. You guys can kind of do that. You have more of a team who's willing to risk to become better. You're really growing. You're really developing. And so for that, hey, shout out to Washington. But for the Atlanta Hawks, sorry you missed out, especially on a guy that you traded a lot of second-round picks for, and he was pretty decent. Second reason why they let him go, he was down last year in production, but I think the second big reason is they're bringing in players to virtually replace him, to be completely honest. They brought in Dyson Daniels, who is a big wing who they can hope they can develop his shot to be a three-point shooter, or by the way, he's an elite defensive specialist or a really good defensive player, because people leaving in the comments that say he's not elite, but he's pretty good. Also, they brought in Zachary Richiche. What is he? 6'8", 6'9" wing who can shoot and defend. Also, you have DeAndre Hunter. Also, you have Kobe Buffkin. These are all 6'5" and plus individuals who are younger. Other than DeAndre Hunter, none of those individuals truly have played a lot of minutes. And the Atlanta Hawks do we develop Saddiq Bey, who is coming off an ACL tear, and probably would need $20+ million, or do we roll the dice on some of these younger players who have, to be completely honest, more upside than Saddiq Bey from an offensive perspective? We spent all of our minutes there. We spent all of our coaching time there. And it makes sense. They want to go with the younger guys. I mean, the Atlanta Hawks are trying to be strategic in the way to develop and choose players. And to be honest, Saddiq Bey, he could have fit, but for the right price, and the Atlanta Hawks weren't trying to pay that price. Number 3, I think it's the big one. Saddiq would have required some time off. And I think the Atlanta Hawks are trying to move in the direction of, hey, we are getting better. We are bringing in young players to surround Trae Young with, but we also don't have that much time. I think they're starting to realize, hey, we do want to get better. We do have young players, but we still want to be progressive. We want to grow. and they felt like the need to wait on Saddiq Bey to come off of his ACL tear and then get it back up to game speed. It was just too much time and too much risk, especially when, like I just mentioned, they have players on the team that could fit in the same sort of role. And as you can see, like I said, Landry Fields, even though we don't agree with what he does, even though it's not the best looking, even though it's not the coolest signees, he is sticking to a strategy of surrounding Trae Young with good young defensive talent that can shoot. He's doing the Luka method. He's doing the New York Knicks method. Regardless of what you say about New York Knicks, a lot of people can say they suck. They made the playoffs with the last 3 years. Building the same way. Jalen Brunson, shooters all around him, playing defense. And so you can see the Atlanta Hawks are trying to do similar to that. Even the Pacers. They may not play defense, but they surrounded Tyrese Halliburton with shooters and long, lengthy defenders. I mean, and that's the way the NBA is moving. And so those are the 3 main reasons I think they got rid of Saddiq Bey. I think he was a great fit in regards to person. I think he was a great person. I think, they really enjoyed his time there, but going forward, they had to look at it and they said, hey, why take minutes from these younger guys? We need to give minutes to these younger guys so they can develop. But also, Saddiq, he's coming off an ACL. It's going to take him some time to get up to speed. But also, we got to pay him $20 million, and we want to stay underneath the luxury tax. Because our owner, Tony Resler, regardless of what he says, what we say, he's cheap, and he's trying to, especially on a team now where he doesn't feel like we have true championship contention ability. He's like, I'm not going into luxury tax. And to be completely honest, I wouldn't blame him right now. Now, if we had Trae Young and Paul George and whoever, Lauri Markkanen, that'd be a different subject. But right now, as we are currently built, he doesn't feel like we need to go in the luxury tax, and I agree with him. Let's build a roster with young defensive talent who can shoot, put him around Trae Young, and let's make a run to the Eastern Conference Finals like we did that one year. And if it gets like that, I guarantee there's going to be players that are going to want to sign with the Atlanta Hawks in the near future. So those are the reasons why we passed on Saddiq Bey. Are they great reasons? I think they're pretty decent. They just make sense at the end of the day. And as a fan, all you can ask for is, does it make sense? You can deal with the not big moves. You can deal with the not getting exceptional players in your eyes. But if you're going out there making dumb ideas and dumb plays and dumb trades, then that's when fans start to get upset. And these moves kind of make sense going forward. But if you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. If you want to see more videos like this, check this one out right here. And like always, peace.